Also, 6 out of 10 for that Torcon. That's a 60% chance of a tornado within 50 miles of Dodge City. On Sunday, these are the areas to watch. Notice a lot of them are the same areas that we're going to be watching on Saturday. So we're talking parts of Kansas, parts of Oklahoma. Notice it does move a little further towards the east. So we get central Nebraska, central Kansas out of the zone, and we add Missouri, Iowa, and at least the western half of the state of Illinois. Torcon values on Sunday, 5 for central and northeast Texas. So 5 out of 10 chance of a tornado, say, for Fort Worth, northwest Arkansas, much of Missouri, a 3 out of 10 Jennifer, and further up to the north, Iowa, 5 out of 10.
All right, it's been a very active afternoon and evening. Dr. Greg Forbes is going to be back with us to break down some new tornado video that was just taken within the past 2 hours.
Hey, Hunter, need some pointers?
Just around the house.
Yeah, should do it then.
I love this free store pickup.
Yeah, it's also great when you're on tour. Just order online, we'll have it waiting for you the same day. You know, I bet there's an Ace within a golf swing of just about anywhere.
Really?
Oh, you don't need to...
New mailboxes.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Drive safely, Hunter.
Thanks again, Mike.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome. They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's the last line up defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny along with a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Friday night, clear skies, low 69. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Doers. They don't worry if something's possible. They just do it. At Sears Optical, we're committed to bringing them eyewear that works as hard as they do. Right now, save up to $200 on eyeglasses. Quality eyewear for doers. Sears Optical.
Make the journey as extraordinary as the destination. The exquisitely designed Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. Unforgettable. Get 0.9% financing on the 2015 ES 350. See your Lexus dealer.
Thank you. Now? Can I at least put my shoes on?
If your bladder is calling the shots, you may have a medical condition called overactive bladder, or OAB.
You gotta be kidding me. I've had enough. It's time to talk to the doctor.
Ask your doctor how Myrbetriq may help treat OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage, which may mean fewer trips to the bathroom.
Myrbetriq Mirabegron may increase your blood pressure. Myrbetriq may increase your chances of not being able to empty your bladder. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Myrbetriq may affect or be affected by other medications, so tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. Before taking Myrbetriq, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold symptoms, urinary tract infection, and headache.
Take charge by talking to your doctor about your OAB symptoms and Myrbetriq. Find out if you can get your first prescription at no cost by visiting Myrbetriq.com.
I've been trying to get this car fixed for ages. I really need this. It is not repairable.
Oh, look at that action. Oh, good mojo.
Voila!
Lost in Transmission, all new. Thursdays at 10 on History. Brought to you locally by South Florida Ford. Go further. Online at southfloridaford.com.
Ford is taking the EcoBoost Challenge all across America.
Ford has really stepped up.
Check out Fusion and find out why Ford is the brand more people buy and buy again.
I like the grille and the sexy look to it.
EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon on the highway.
Are you serious?
Fusion is amazing.
My opinion of Ford has dramatically changed.
Now get a Fusion for $169 a month with $29.19 cash due at signing. Current lessees $21.69 due at signing. Only at your South Florida Ford store.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
It has been a very busy evening. We've had tornadoes. We still have an ongoing threat of damaging winds coming towards the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We also are getting in some great video of tornadoes that have occurred earlier north of Denton, up near the Valley View, Texas area. Let's take a look. This one you'll be able to see when we put it in motion, a tornado that breaks down from one big tornado into multiple vortices. You look very carefully there. You can see individual funnels revolving about the parent tornado. The parent tornado is about this wide, but then you see little tiny smaller funnels revolving about that. We'll loop through this several times and you'll see some of them. It's a sort of one tornado. Now there's one that's going around the backside behind the tornado, farther away from the cameraman. Here it comes back around the front side. There's one on the front side. There's another one that goes around. So all told, there's about 4 or 5 of these, what we call suction vortices, tornadoes within a tornado, if you will. They have their own rotation. They have their own low pressure at the center. They have their own updraft. Also a big piece of debris that goes tossed out by some of these. And if you get hit by one of these suction vortices, you might get winds 50 to 100 miles per hour faster than in the parent tornado. So this probably was a fairly weak tornado, but had strengthened in spots by these suction vortices. Now we have another video here that is just in of Valley View, Texas. This one we're seeing a big elongated cloud here. This storm had a very abrupt south edge to that, and from horizon to horizon you're seeing what is essentially a big shelf cloud, and at times there were some tornadoes that would drop down in there. Look, you're seeing some low-hanging clouds there illuminated by the lightning of this particular storm. So there were some tornadoes reported here, but they would come and go very briefly. There right to the left of the building, you saw a low-hanging portion. That was probably part that had a tornado in that, again illuminated by lightning. So let's take a look and see what's going on right now. We have a big bow echo that's blasting at 50 miles per hour toward the Denton, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. The most pronounced part of that bow echo is really charging its way toward the north side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area and the Denton area. And taking a look at this in 3 dimensions, it's a line of pretty tall thunderstorms that is charging its way east. Here we're looking at it from the west side. Now we'll look at it if it's coming toward you as a wee little tiny green line. That's a gust front. It's not very tall there in those clouds, but those are often lines of insects that have collided in the shifting winds, and it's about 3 miles ahead of the storm. Look at that, the foot coming forward of the strong winds, and then the warm air goes back up in here and then gets shot back forward in the anvil that probably already you're seeing over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex as this squall line approaches. So damaging winds in the north part of the Metroplex, maybe even all parts of the Metroplex, but could be 75, 80 mile per hour coming across anywhere from around Decatur to North Fort Worth. Downtown Fort Worth, you'll get winds for sure, about 9:36 time frame coming through there. So severe thunderstorm warnings, Parker, Wise counties with damaging winds, maybe some 1-inch hail in some places, certainly heavy rain, certainly a lot of lightning. There are surges here of very strong winds. Look at this little rear inflow notch, rear inflow jet comes blasting in there, works its way down to the ground, and then the very strong winds now heading toward the Boyd area. That will continue off toward the east. So Jen and Alex, it's still going to be a very stormy night for the Metroplex. So far, most of the action has stayed to their north and west, but it is heading their way. Alex?
I know you'll be watching it for them. Thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Got to talk about this tropical system that we're also watching, or I should say potential tropical system. Now, there is the chance that they could name this. The National Hurricane Center could name this at about an hour from now. So stay tuned on this. Weather's not going to be great as we head into the weekend for places like Wilmington, North Carolina. Rain, windy on Friday. less of a chance for storms Saturday, but notice by Sunday and Monday that chance ramps right back up. So we're going to be seeing less than perfect beach weather, to say the least. Number of named storms the past season since 1851, 62% of early starts of the season have ended at or below average in number. So just because we're starting early doesn't mean that it's going to be a crazy active season. Since 1958, subtropical depressions or storms have formed before May 7th, so perhaps we will be seeing the 9th. This is Invest 90L with winds at 45 miles an hour, pressure down to 1,004 millibars, 90% chance. That's what the National Hurricane Center is giving this for formation. So again, could be Ana. That would be our next named storm. And when we talk about an invest, what is an invest? You're wondering. A tropical disturbance that is investigated by the National Hurricane Center, one that they're keeping an eye on. It's usually an open wave with no well-defined closed circulation. And once that does become that closed low, we see that name after designation, they start to look at it. Jennifer.
All right, well, we'll make sure you're staying with us to see if they do name that storm within the next hour. Thanks.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny along with a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Friday night, clear skies, low 69. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look at a multi-vortex tornado. Social media video in from Morgan Burke in Decatur, Texas. You can see the tornado spinning up there in the background, and certainly very clear vortices. It's interesting, Alex, because sometimes the vortices are hard to see, but this very clear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those situations there. It's those individual, as you said, vortices sort of rotating around the whole apparent tornado, and those can be extra dangerous there. They can actually have a little bit more extra speed with them and cause a little extra damage. So you're getting a chance to almost see within the tornado what happens there. Multiple vortices, little mini tornadoes rotating about the big tornado itself.
Yeah, some good footage there. We have severe weather to cover for you, obviously. We've seen over 40 tornadoes reported in the last 24 hours. 44 yesterday. They narrow that down into whether or not some of them are duplicates. And the threat not over, of course, either. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Alex Wallace. Again, we had another stormy time out there for us. In fact, let's get another look at that multi-vortex tornado. This is the view from near Denton, Texas. This is shot by storm chaser Kevin Saunders. We're actually going to be talking with Kevin in just a few moments there. And it looks like, I'm not sure if it's moving in this picture or not. Tough to tell.
Yeah, there is a little bit at the edge, it looks like. But yeah, I got a couple of views from that. Had it live on the air just a little bit earlier. That's one of the better looking tornadoes we saw. Let's start with what's going on right now as well. We have severe thunderstorm watches in effect here in Dallas area is a spot that's about to get hit pretty hard with some heavy rain and some strong winds.
Yeah, that watch in effect until the midnight hour. And again, it's mainly as we watch now these storms. It's a line of storms just on off towards the north and the west. Moving on in that line of storms, maybe dealing with some damaging winds with that 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Certainly not out of the question as that line gets closer and closer.
Yeah, let's go to Dr. Forbes now if we can, because Dr. Forbes, this has become the biggest thing that we're watching as this line moves towards Dallas.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you want to be meteorologists, come and look. I want to show you a textbook example of a bow echo that's heading its way toward Denton, and then a squall line, a line of thunderstorms with damaging winds. Maybe will extend all the way down to Waco, Texas. Here it is. There's the squall line. You can see it going all the way down to the lower left corner of the radar picture here. But look here. There's a big bow echo, has even a rotating comma head. It's gotten itself into the comma, the punctuation mark shape, and that is almost certain to have damaging winds that are just surging their way eastward toward the Denton, the northern part of the Fort Worth metro area here. And we're looking here. This is a line of big, tall thunderstorms, some of them going up to 50,000 feet. You're looking at it simulated here by radar from the west, and then we'll slide around, and you look at this big line of thunderstorms coming at Fort Worth from the east, looking toward the west, and you see here a little green line. That's insects that have been collected in the outflow that's coming away from the storms, contrasting with the southerly warm flow that is coming up toward the storm. So that line of gust front is about 3 miles ahead of the heavy rain, and here we have a bit of a wall, that very heavy rain. That rain comes in as a wall, and then there's warm air that rises up over that, and then with the winds aloft, gets carried forward. The anvil is probably coming out already over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so strong winds coming into the Dallas area. Here we have it then. There's a rotating head. At times we've had a tornado warning there, timing it out, coming into Fort Worth about 9:36, Dallas about 10:09, and then continuing east of Dallas and Fort Worth to the Greenville and Terrell areas about 10:38, 10:52. This line might wake all the way down into Waco. Imminently, we have Denton, Tarrant, and Wise counties under severe thunderstorm warning, especially this area here up toward the Denton area, the northern suburbs of Fort Worth, and south and east of Decatur. Could be some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in there, as we have a big rotating calm ahead here, and the winds are just driving forward toward the Justin area, toward the Louisville area, toward the Denton area. So a dangerous situation there. Could be quite a few power outages there, so it's a good time if you're in these areas to grab the flashlight, because you may lose power for the night. Denton about 9:29, Flower Mound 9:34, as these storms are blasting east at about 50 miles per hour. Farther down, it's coming into Stephenville, Texas, Comanche, Erath, and Hood counties. You have severe thunderstorm warnings for these damaging winds. Maybe not quite as strong here, but could be some 60-mile-per-hour gusts in these, and sometimes there's little mini bows, and even you can never totally rule out a tornado circulation in these either, along the shifting winds along the leading edge of this. Up around Sherman, Texas, Grayson County, you have severe thunderstorm warning, and even up around Durant in Oklahoma across the Red River there, you have a severe thunderstorm warning in a smaller bow echo or a little line segment that's blasting across Bryan County there. So that's where the main threat is, from just over the border there into Oklahoma down into probably working its way toward the Waco area. Then and here you see that big cluster of thunderstorms in the water vapor imagery. Why isn't it going farther south? Well, it's so dry aloft. That red area there is very dry and probably a little bit warm capped air aloft that is inhibiting the storms. But the next player for tomorrow, for Saturday, for Sunday, but for Monday is this spinning upper low that's come out of the jet stream. It's heading south and east. It's going to turn east and northeast. It's already given a tornado warning in Nevada today. It's over California. It's going to push its way east, and on its east flanks will spin up severe weather. Tomorrow, the jet stream with that will come and split apart. We'll have low-level warm moist flow coming up toward the dry line there. We'll fire up storms again, a surface low. There's a stationary front that's come down. So in this juncture, Texas border areas, we'll have severe thunderstorms with tornadoes, and even as far perhaps as western Arkansas, a severe thunderstorm threat. Torcon, I've given a 5 for northwest parts of Texas, western parts of Oklahoma, 4 for southern parts of Kansas, and I believe it's 3 to 4 there for parts of central Texas. Then as we head into Saturday, the whole of the upper air system comes charging into the central parts of the United States. The dry line again, ever so slightly farther to the east, a lot of warm moist air, again a surface low, a lot of spin in the atmosphere. Low-level jet comes fast in from the south. And so with the turning of the winds in these areas, parts of Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, and again, the pulling apart of the winds aloft, that helps pull up the storms. We have everything in place there for a severe weather outbreak on Saturday that will include maybe as far east as Illinois, but especially southern Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, down into Texas, with some Torcon values that I've already given in the 6 range for central parts of Kansas, central parts of Oklahoma. And pretty big values all across that area, 3 or higher, but a 4 for north central Texas being a pretty high value. And up near the frontal zone, a 4 for south central and southeast parts of Nebraska. So I'm beginning to lose my voice, so at this point, we'll toss back to the studio.
Oh, Dr. Forbes, the guy works tirelessly.
Too hard.
It's amazing he's made it this far. But again, we appreciate all your efforts, Dr. Forbes, tracking all these storms.
All right, we're going to go now to Kevin Saunders, who joins us on the phone. He's a storm chaser that caught part of that multi-vortex tornado near Denton, Texas earlier. Kevin, could you tell us where you're at right now and what you're looking at?
I'm just west of Valley View, Texas. I'm looking at a real weak lowering wall cloud just to my north, but with lots of lightning coming down. We're actually starting to that whole line of storms is actually caught up with us now, and we're starting to get rain, and the large hail will probably start here pretty soon.
What about the wind situation? Are you starting to feel any winds getting a little gustier?
Yes, the winds are definitely getting gustier. It's starting to blow the car around a little bit, rock it around, and yeah.
Now, Kevin, can you talk to us a little bit about, because I see this on social media a lot when we interview storm chasers. Can you talk to people about feeling okay storm chasing at night, why you don't do it in this scenario? Are you heading back to a hotel, anything like that?
I am. I don't recommend chasing at night. In this case, I have to get up 35 to go to Oklahoma City tonight, and so I'm actually letting I'm letting the storm come across me so that I'm actually not driving down the interstate while I'm trying to get through this storm. So I'm in a safe location right now. I'm going to let the storm come across in front of me and go off to my east, and then I'll start heading north.
Wow. Now, Kevin, earlier today you actually got a chance to capture a multi-vortex tornado there. Talk a little bit about that experience that you caught, and where was that at?
That was just east of Slidell, Texas. We had a multi-vortex tornado, probably I'd say about 200 yards off in the field in front of us. The time that we were at, I didn't see it actually hitting any structures or any damage at the time. But it was right in front of us, went across, and then it ended up wrapping itself up in the rain for a little bit. We ended up traveling several miles east, caught another glimpse of it, and then it dissipated after that.
Hey, Kevin, we have about 30 seconds left here, but how have you found the chasing to be so far? We've seen a lot of rain-wrapped rotation. Has that given you any pause when you've been out there?
It definitely has. You're a little more on guard. Anytime you can't see something that could be that destructive, it does definitely put you more on guard and trying to make sure that you're making the right decisions in approaching those storms and those tornadoes.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Well, Kevin Saunders, we certainly appreciate your pictures, your views, and everything that you have sent to us, and all the storm chasing that you guys do. Certainly, we appreciate it, and it's helpful.
And I'm glad he cleared up the fact that he's going back to his hotel. Storm chasing at night, not a smart thing. We'll be right back after the break.
Johnny, even after careers like ours, we're still going strong.
What's your secret, Richard?
Blue Emu.
Oh, I've used Blue Emu for over 10 years. I love their odor-free Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray.
Me too. It's got an active ingredient to relieve my muscle aches and joint pains.
And soothing emu oil for those hard-to-reach places.
I knew you was a winner.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Blue Emu. It works fast.
And you won't stink.
New Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray outperforms a leading allergy pill. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6. So go ahead, inhale life. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
Who needs a witness when you set the world in motion? The Ram ProMaster van. And introducing the all-new Ram ProMaster City. Purpose-built to help you run the town. Ram.
Quiet! Mom has a headache!
Had a headache, but now I don't. Excedrin is fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin.
Wow, that was fast.
Advanced design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, and NHC now, National Hurricane Center, is tweeting and giving us some advance notice of what's happening, and they've said they're going to initiate tropical storm, a subtropical storm, I should say, Ana, starting at 11 o'clock. So they will name this system. It will be the first, obviously, of the year, and quite early.
Yeah, early. Of course, the season starts in June. It's not unprecedented to have a system, a cyclone, develop earlier than the actual season, and it seems to be the case here, as again, the National Hurricane Center is saying that they will be issuing advisories on this subtropical storm, Ana.
And this is no shock, really, because if you looked at it, it has some decent characteristics with it. And subtropical storm, by the way, basically means that it's a hybrid, right? So we've been using the term hybrid since we introduced this whole topic a week and a half ago. And all it really means is it started as a normal system and it got some warm characteristics by sitting out over the ocean, which is what it's doing right now.
Yeah, sitting over there, and it's going to sit there for a while. This thing's not going to be moving very quickly at all. But again, the main thing is going to be looking at a named system, but the impacts out there for us generally going to be right along the coast. Watch out for the beaches, rip current risk out there. Could see some heavy rain if you can get some of those bands try to swing their way on.
Right, and certainly we'll keep on top of that. Let's go back to our severe coverage right now, and some new video coming into us right now. This is from Valley View, Texas, and lightning the storm, and a pretty good looking wall cloud with this as well. Really good looking wall cloud, actually. Low. You know, the things that you don't really want to see. And you know, we talked to Kevin Saunders just now, a storm chaser, about visibility issues. It seems like, Alex, the storms we've been watching over the past couple of days, a lot of them have been rain-wrapped, relatively obscured, considering it's flat.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, when it's wrapped in rain, you're just not going to be able to see it. So trying to get out there and trying to capture the pictures, a very dangerous proposition. But again, an incredible view here. This is again in Valley View, Texas. You see that whole sort of horizon filled with the clouds. It's basically the entire shelf cloud associated with this storm.
Yep.
So amazing view there.
All right, let's show you the severe thunderstorm warning we have, watch that we have right now. And it is for a relatively large area into Dallas. And what's going on now is we have a bowing out line segment. So we have gusty winds. The radar gives that away. And this is valid until midnight Central Time. As far as the tornadoes, it's not that there's no potential, but the potential is low enough that we're looking at a severe thunderstorm watch instead of a tornado watch, which is a step in the right direction, at least for the time being. Of course, we're looking at a couple of days now into the weekend where we're going to see this threat continue to ramp up.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we've got our Storm Master G, Dr. Greg Forbes, who's in the lab. He's been tracking these storms all afternoon and evening. Dr. Forbes, what are you seeing?
Yeah, now that video that you showed there, that picture you showed, that big expanse of cloud from horizon to horizon, probably a pretty good example of a shelf cloud. And if there's enough lightning coming into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there you see it. That shelf cloud, that's out on the leading edge of rain-cooled air, a gust of wind that is coming. And now that one of those, a big one of those, is coming toward the northern suburbs of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. In fact, maybe the whole squall line will be coming toward the entirety of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area and might work its way even as far south as Stephenville. It is doing that, maybe as far south as Waco before the night is over. Let's take a look here. We'll see that there is tremendous amounts of lightning all the way down to just north of Brownwood, Texas, along this squall line, and all the way up into across the Red River Valley area with a number of severe thunderstorm warnings, including a big bow echo. Look how the lightning bends back there. That's a bow echo that's going to roll across the north suburbs. So in this squall line area here, 4,000 strikes plus, 4,300 strikes of lightning in the last 15 minutes. You're seeing new individual bolts come in. The worst of the winds likely to be in this big backwards sea area coming across the north parts of the Metroplex. But there could be 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts everywhere, including coming into Stephenville and getting pretty close to Waco along I-35 just to the south of Fort Worth area before the night is over. Looking from the back, it's sort of a wall of clouds leaving your area. This is a pretty sharp edge to the thunderstorms as they come through. It will probably rain very hard for about 15 minutes and then maybe taper off with some light rain. When it comes in, it's a wall of rain coming in. A little bit of a gust front here. This little green line is out ahead of the storms by about 3 miles. So you could actually get some heavy rain. You could get some wind before you get the heavy rain. Some of these storm tops in the line you're seeing here in 3 dimensions are up to about 50,000 feet tall, nearly 10 miles high. You're seeing some of that showing up here. So there it is, getting very close to 50,000 feet. Here is what we would see. This is radar recreated. So this would be the shelf cloud coming in. The strong winds charging forward, pushing up over top of that, the warm, moist air that comes rising up to the top, and then the anvil goes shooting forward, and that anvil is probably already coming out over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So wind, lightning, heavy rain, enough wind perhaps in some places that are going to cause damage coming across the area here, especially the areas near Decatur over toward the northern half of the metro. The thunderstorm squall line will come into Fort Worth about 9:50, Dallas about 10:23. But it's probably that Denton area, Greenville area here, and areas just to the south along this forward surge part of our time projection here that are going to get the strongest winds, maybe about 70 miles per hour. Gusts elsewhere, probably in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range. So it's going to get a lot worse, Dallas-Fort Worth. You've had a nice day. The weather's been off to your west, but that is not going to hold this evening. It's going to be a bad evening coming up. Let's go back now to the studio.
All right, thank you, Dr. Forrest. By the way, they had an earthquake, 4.0, in Dallas earlier today. So wild weather. We have a warning, tornado warning.
Yeah, this time we take you into Colorado. There we are. Again, we're just now south of Pueblo. Zooming in there, there's that storm hanging all out by itself. That's for the Los Alamos and Huerfano counties until 8:45 local time. Seek shelter if you're in this area.
Stay tuned for your Local on the 8s, brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone.
Ted's morning was not going well, and when his battery light lit up, it went from bad to worse. But a quick pit stop to AutoZone, where they checked that for free, and Ted and his car were back to peak performance. It's called The Zone, and we'll help get you there.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny along with a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Friday night, clear skies, low 69. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you've been wishing for something amazing, Cricket Wireless has got it. The new Samsung Galaxy S6 for $0 down on a phone payment plan and will cover your initial loan payment of $19.99. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Now with a full line of independent rear suspension options, the Foreman, Rubicon, and Rancher automatic DCT models are equally ready to work and have fun. Part of the growing ATV family from Honda. Now get low fixed financing rates plus up to $500 in bonus bucks during the Honda Dream Garage sales event.
Hey Hunter, need some pointers?
Just around the house.
Yeah, should do it then.
I love this free store pickup.
Yeah, it's also great when you're on tour. Just order online, we'll have it waiting for you the same day. You know, I bet there's an Ace within a golf swing of just about anywhere.
Really?
Oh, you don't need to...
New mailboxes.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Drive safely, Hunter.
Thanks again, Mike.
Replacing old drain lines used to mean tearing up floors and walls and digging a huge trench in your house, but not anymore. Now there's trenchless drain line repair. Our trenchless pipelining method creates a new permanent pipe inside the existing pipe. A liner saturated with epoxy is inserted into the pipe. A bladder is inflated until the epoxy hardens to form a new pipe inside the old pipe. It's removed and the pipe is ready for use, better than new. Need a drain line repair? Go trenchless. Call Quick Plumbers today.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day.
They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Well, welcome back to Weather Center Live, and we got our first named, or it's kind of interesting. We're about to have our first named tropical system in the Atlantic.
We're getting word the National Hurricane Center tweeting out that they will be issuing advisories on subtropical storm Ana.
And one of the things on Twitter that you can believe, it's not like the Tigernado from last night. This is actually going down. Here's a look at subtropical storm, what will be called Ana. Winds at 45 miles an hour. It has some, it definitely has some spin to it. It looks a lot healthier than it did yesterday. There was a period of time, Alex, yesterday that we're saying, did all the computer models whiff at the same time? Where is this thing?
It was looking rough. So trying to get itself better organized, and that was the thinking that it was going to take its time, very slow to develop there, and finally now looks like we are going to be dealing with a subtropical storm, and that is Ana. They're hanging just off the southeast coast.
All right, we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Let's go back to Dr. Forbes, so we have a new tornado warning to track.
We do. This is an individualized storm that's out ahead of the bow echo that we've been tracking, and sometimes that happens as the bow echo gets close to one of these individualized storms. It begins to feel the influence of that, and there's sometimes a little bit of warming and low pressure aloft that comes in and enables, we think, the storms to rotate ahead of that. So the storm that's near Valley View, Cook, Denton, and Grayson counties, you have a tornado warning there heading toward the Collinsville, the Lake Kiowa area, the Pilot Point area. There is some rotation on the leading edge of this particular storm, and we've seen some damage earlier from thunderstorm winds or tornadoes in parts of North Texas. So here is where you would be seeing the strongest of the rotation, and it's going to be heading just slightly to the north of east toward the Pilot Point area, and it should head well to the south of the Sherman area as this is tracking. South of Sherman about 1028, the Collinsville area about 944 at the direction that this storm is going. So a dangerous situation there. Another dangerous situation in a much more wide nature as we have this big widespread squall line all the way down beyond Stephenville, Texas, down to Brownwood, Texas, and then rotating calm ahead in this bow echo that is really surging toward Denton area. Denton 935, it's getting very close. Greenville 1045. The squall line will come into Fort Worth at about, well, I lost the time there. It was about 9:35 or so. Dallas, I think, was a little bit after 10 o'clock as it was coming across this area. So tornado in the individual storm ahead of that. Look here. There's a rotation aloft in there that is helping drive the winds forward in that strongest, most backward C-shaped part of the line there. What we call a rear inflow jet is blasted in, and that's heading right toward the Denton area. And and some of the winds that are in the mid-levels being generated by that low pressure are being pushed down to the ground. Could give 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts there in the Denton area. So we'll be looking at that Denton area and Argyle area and areas just maybe as far south as Roanoke and Louisville and up as far north as the Sanger area there north of the Fort Worth area to have those strongest winds. Let's take a look then. We'll talk about these straight line winds that get produced by a system like this. In this case, we have some dry air aloft, and the thunderstorm is pulling in some of that. Then the downdrafts, the rain-cooled downdraft of the storm, push that down to the ground. And near the ground, some of that rain evaporates, and the air accelerates down to the ground. It gets all the way down to the ground. It can't go into the ground, and so it has to spread forward. We're seeing that tonight in that little green gust front that's out about 3 miles ahead of the thunderstorms. And so those strong winds, what we call straight line winds, blow out ahead of the thunderstorm and can cause damage both to trees, knock down power lines on some occasions, certainly branches that can fall down onto the power lines, so power outages. So all of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, it's a good time to be grabbing the flashlights just in case you are getting those power lines, and it's a good time to be heading indoors because of all the lightning threats, the damaging wind threats that are coming into your areas. You don't want to be having the pets outside, certainly the children, you don't want them out running about during this storm that's coming through, and not a great time to drive. It's only going to last about a half hour, and so just stay put until it's all passed. Let's go back now to the studio.
All right, thank you, Dr. Forbes. Just chill for a little bit. Wait for the line to come on through.
Exactly.
Denton, by the way, got hit with the multi-vortex tornado earlier.
Yeah, so we're now getting ready to deal with a strong line of storms moving in from the west. And then again, so that's now the second round. Earlier today, this is what we were dealing with near Denton. You can see the tornado here. This was actually a multi-vortex tornado. Basically, you had the tornado, but you also had a little sort of mini tornadoes within that revolving around the sort of the main tornado there. And again, those can be very, very dangerous.
It's at one point, I think you can see 3 or 4 vortices kind of reaching down from the cloud. And we've seen kind of a disproportionate amount of those. I feel like we've seen a couple over the past 2 days. Maybe it's just that the chasers get their cams on them more now than they used to. But that's Denton, and Denton about to get a different threat in about, not very long from now, 15 minutes max. They're about to get hit with these straight line winds. Let's take you out to Dallas real quick because they are, 10, 15 away from this line now.
Yeah, absolutely. So expect those winds to start to really increase and start to scream a bit, and watch for that heavy rain to also drive in the next few minutes.
Joseph A. Bank presents Look Sharp, Save Smart. Purchase 1 sport coat, receive a 2nd sport coat, and 2 pants free. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned sales event now through June 1st, and receive your first 2 months payments on us, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Think the tree we carved our names in is still here?
That's probably dead.
How much fun is this?
What?
What a beautiful sunset.
If you like sunsets.
Whether you're sweet or salty, you'll love Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bars.
Doers. They don't worry if something's possible. They just do it. At Sears Optical, we're committed to bringing them eyewear that works as hard as they do. Right now, save up to $200 on eyeglasses. Quality eyewear for doers. Sears Optical.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
You could sit at your computer and read all about zero-turn mowers. Click, scroll, tweet, or you could just sit on a John Deere Z435 Easy Track and feel its power. You'll know it'll get the job done fast. When it's time to pick a mower, you've got to get on one. Visit your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today. Sign up to take your turn on an Easy Track zero-turn mower at your John Deere dealer and save $100 on your purchase.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet Santa Ma's nice. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. Send John a real paradise. So nice, so proud to be from the Virgin Islands and the whole place nice.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, book one of our packages today.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust, with stain and sealer in one, and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
Deep in the dark, untouched recesses of your engine is power you never knew it could produce. And vapor can set it free. New Stable 360 Performance unleashes that exclusive vapor technology that rises above the fuel line to protect your engine where other additives can't. To help keep your engine running cleaner, leaner, smoother, and stronger than ever. The next level of performance is in the vapor. Stable 360 Performance.
Welcome back. Breaking now for you at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. The National Hurricane Center is going to start issuing advisories on subtropical storm Ana. That's the system we've been following and watching just off the southeast coast. A week or so ago, we were looking at the computer models. They were saying there's something that was going to be trying to develop. And now here we are, again, at the National Hurricane Center, going to be issuing advisories on this subtropical storm Ana.
Now, this doesn't really, honestly, doesn't change what's happening with the system. It looks is well organized as a subtropical is going. And by the way, a subtropical basically means that it is a hybrid system. So you've got what started as a cold core system turning over to a warm core system. And the ultimate impacts of this thing, I think one of the biggest things will be how prolonged it is. The Euro, the latest European model, came out and doesn't really bring this thing onshore, if you will, until sometime Saturday night.
Exactly.
So it could just be a long lashing of rain and wind. We don't anticipate huge damage, but a long-term storm.
Yeah, long-term out there. We got this big ridge of high pressure to the north, so this thing just has nowhere to go until what we're actually dealing with in the middle of the country for the weekend. That's what's going to eventually kick this thing out of here.
Try to drive it in. And, I think it's more psychological in a way that we're starting the season this early. It makes people think about what kind of year it might be, even though we found that there's not a ton of correlation there. Still, to get something this early in the season certainly has everybody, I think, on their toes. So we'll continue to watch that system for you and talk about some of the different scenarios. We have a lot of live coverage planned tomorrow morning through the weekend.
And it looks like officially now, I believe the subtropical storm Ana now dealing with an advisory here for us. 45 mile per hour sustained winds moving to the north, not very much, 2 miles per hour. And we're dealing with 1,004 millibars. So there it is. There's our breaking weather alert system. And there at the top, subtropical storm Ana, the 11 o'clock advisory there. So just hanging on just off the southeast coast.
We've got all kinds of stuff going on. We've got that tornado warning. And also, by the way, at some point this weekend, we could add to that some snow. So we're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff going on here over the weekend. Let's talk about what happened earlier today. Denton, they're about to get hit with another line of storms. This is in Texas, Denton, Texas. This is a shelf cloud. We had a multi-vortex tornado, though, on the ground there that we had on live a few hours back.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been sort of a hot zone here for us in and around the Denton area, dealing with these storms earlier. I mean, clearly you can see from a left to right that cloud there streaming around just off the horizon, the shelf cloud associated with it. And then in the background, you can see hanging a little lower, that would be the wall cloud there associated with this storm.
Yeah, quite a bit of activity there in Denton. And actually, let's go back out to Dr. Forbes in the lab, because we have a bow echo, a strong line of winds that's going to go through Denton again and through Dallas eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. We have damaging wind threat coming all the way toward the I-35 corridor, maybe as far south as Waco and up as far north as into southern parts of Oklahoma, and one lone tornado warning out in southeast Colorado. So we're going to give you a tour probably from down the south end of this squall line. We haven't talked a whole lot about that, but down at the south end, there's an individual supercell thunderstorm in that has produced baseball-size hail there in the area north of the Brownwood area, May area. You could be getting that large hail. Brown County, you're included in this severe thunderstorm warning. You certainly have the largest hail threat of anywhere within this line. Then we'll slide up along the line here and show you additional places that are going to have that damaging wind and smaller hail threat. That includes Stephenville, Texas, Comanche, Erath, and Hood counties. You have threat for damaging winds. And then continuing to slide here in Texas up in toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Liking the fact that we continue to see this little gust front march now probably about 4 miles out ahead of the heavy rain that's producing that. And so the storms may be beginning to weaken just a little bit. The crest, though, of this bow really still surging very fast in toward the Denton area and then ultimately toward Plano and the Blue Mound area of Texas. So it's probably 60+ mile per hour wind there, 50 to 60 in many of the other locations. And I've taken a slice through the storm here as we go across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I've taken the west edge of the slice right here, the east edge over to the east of Dallas. And the reason I've done that, you may have heard me saying that the anvil of these storms already goes past the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. The heavy rain is on the way. As I slide this up into the vertical, this is close to the radar, so it takes a little bit of a bite out of it. But the anvil comes all the way across here, all the way beyond the east side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex from thunderstorms with heavy rain and maybe some hail, maybe some strong winds that are back in there. So that's what's coming your way. You're there in the left side in Fort Worth, seeing the lightning from these storms, maybe even in that anvil that is already overhead. Timing this out, coming into the Fort Worth area right about 10 o'clock, into the Dallas area about 10:30. They'll continue marching to the east into Terrell, the Sulphur Springs area, 11:17, 11:29 time frame. Probably not going to be the strongest damaging winds you've ever had, but certainly enough that it could down some power lines, down some trees. maybe throw a few loose objects around. So you may have some power outages. Grab the flashlights. Be prepared. There is a tornado warning from a storm that's out ahead of the Bow Echo, out ahead of the rotating head of the Bow Echo. Cook, Denton, and Grayson counties there. May have been a tornado around the area around Valley View. That's not quite for sure, but certainly there are some circulations that show up in here, right in this area, off to the north of Pilot Point and east of Valley View now, that could contain tornadoes coming across the area. So be on the lookout there. The tornado warning is in effect for parts of Cook, Denton, and Grayson counties, and will be in effect until 9:45 p.m. Then we do have one other tornado warning. It's in relatively rural areas. We did have one other tornado warning. It's apparently been lifted, that had been in effect for Herfano and Los Animas counties off to the area east of Walsenburg there in Colorado. We've had a few tornadoes there today. Last time I looked, we had reports, 11 reports of tornadoes today. Quite a downsizing from yesterday, but we'll see an uptick tomorrow on severe weather threat. And we're going back to the studio now, where we'll hear more about that.
Dr. Forbes, and you were just showing that water vapor imagery and spinning there in the west, the upward disturbance that's going to be eventually sliding east. This is now as we head into tomorrow, and as that does so and begins to work its way into this warm, moist air that's flowing in out of the Gulf of Mexico, that's going to set the stage for more strong and severe storms that we'll have to watch out for, again, as we head into tomorrow. So things are going to get active again in some of the same areas. Watching our way from southern portions of Kansas all the way down through parts of Texas, San Angelo, up towards the Dallas area, Oklahoma City, you're included, and spreading back towards Dodge City. We'll have all of the threats out there for us: damaging winds, hail a threat, and yes, tornadoes, also something we'll be looking for as we move through our Friday. Torcon values here for you now, getting up around a 5. Northwest Texas and western Oklahoma, 50% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. Then in southwest and south central Kansas, it's a 4, so about a 40% chance there. And then across central Texas, it is a 3. So high values here to deal with here across some of these areas tomorrow for the tornado risk. And we don't stop there. Saturday, we'll keep things going. Got some very dry air here that'll be trying to sort of advance its way east. Got the dry line here, sort of the mark between the dry air and the warm air, and that's where storms try to like to fire up. So we could see some of that happening on Saturday. Low-level jet coming in out of the south, and we'll also have some of those strong winds in the upper levels coming in a different direction. So all that leads to these storms to rotate. Rotating storms, those supercell storms, they're the ones that give us the large hail, the damaging winds, and tornadoes. So Saturday, large real estate, Texas, Plain States, in the crossing now across sections of the Midwest. Keith?
All right, thanks, Alex. Well, we're talking also about Ana, which has just formed in the Atlantic, our first system of the year that has been named. And just now, tropical storm watches have been issued right along with it. In the Carolinas, we're going to be watching this system. And again, this is a slow-moving system, so we're going to be watching this here all the way into the weekend. Slow-moving, could have some effects all the way through Sunday. We'll be right back.
Every inch, every minute, every second, we chip away at finding inspiration to reimagine luxury, making the colors of earth and sunset skies into rich interior accents, or putting the beauty of a forest in the palm of your hands. It will take you to another place, wherever you happen to be. Made with pride, crafted with passion. This is the 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It is the best of what we're made of.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
Lowe's presents How to Plan for the Future.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. Sorry I forgot our anniversary. Happy Mother's Day.
1.5-gallon hanging baskets, now just 2 for $16 at Lowe's.
So if I gave you a Bud Light, are you up for whatever happens next?
Yeah.
Check it out.
The perfect beer for stepping outside for some old school fun. My goodness.
these right there. Got those two. Couple of these. That's whoa.
Right now, PetSmart has great deals on select toys and treats you and your kids love. Because pethood's better with a partner.
My school reunion. I don't know.
Who wants to play in Idaho?
Gotta get Milwaukee up to speed.
We win in Flint. We take the lead.
We'll close the deal if we just show.
Should I stay or should I go?
When it's go to choicehotels.com, the site with the right room, rewards, and savings up to 20% when you book direct. choicehotels.com.
One of the fort's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Yeah, they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I'm one.
I'm one. I'm one.
I am one of the ones who discovered Always Discreet underwear for sensitive bladders.
It makes me feel secure, confident, and I feel protected.
I mean, I feel comfortable to move in them. They move with me.
I love Always Discreet underwear because of the fit. The fabric is very soft. I can wear whatever I want to wear.
Always Discreet's made me a very happy woman.
Join over 500,000 women who've discovered Always Discreet underwear. For more stories and your free sample, go to alwaysdiscreet.com so bladder leaks can feel like no big deal.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
Where kids still went to school.
And it just hit us.
This was it.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere. It wasn't a nightmare.
And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us, a new update in the tropics. That's right. I know it's a bit early. The season starts in June, but we have a subtropical storm, a newly named subtropical storm, and its name is Ana, hanging just off the coast of the southeast coast there. We now have tropical storm watches, and those have been actually issued from Edisto Beach, South Carolina, up to Cape Lookout, North Carolina. So once again, if you're just joining us, new subtropical storm Ana hanging off the southeast coast. Let's get the very latest and some of the details on what we may be dealing with this system. Keith standing by with that.
All right, thanks, Alex. Yeah, let's take a look at this thing because, yesterday at this time, it didn't look like it was doing anything. It wasn't forming. Now we have a pretty decent circulation here. Look, this is not a hurricane. It's not going to jump out at you, but it has winds of 45 miles an hour, center circulation roughly right here. You can see it spinning. The convection, the showers and thunderstorms on the south side and on the north side. So there is a center, a sandwich there of circulation, which we did not have yesterday, and that's why we did not have a name for it even. And even this morning, we had some trouble getting that organization going. It is moving very slowly north at 2 miles an hour. That will be a story for this system over the next couple of days. A steering flow, if you will, very, very weak, so it doesn't have very far to go. One thing of note here, water vapor imagery was showing you moist air here in the pink purple colors, but this is all dry air here in the tan, trying to suck itself into the middle of it. It's not a favorable thing, but there's low wind shear and relatively warm water. So 2 out of 3 as far as development should be enough to continue to get this storm a little bit stronger despite all that dry air being wrapped into the middle of it. That's not normally something you want to see down here as far as development. Now, when they went ahead and named this thing, we also have some tropical storm watches that have been hoisted here across most of South Carolina's coast and all through North Carolina's coast, stopping at the Outer Banks just because of the curvature of the coast here. The exact spot, much like even if it was a strong storm, doesn't really matter. The exact spot where this thing comes on shore is really fairly irrelevant because we're looking at rain, long-term rain and wind threat as the main thing. So here's a look at the forecast models, and even though they look a little crazy, they all, again, except for let me just point this out. The band, nobody pays attention to that. So the red line doesn't matter. These here, though, all have it just to the north of the Charleston area. So it is a fair thing to say that Charleston will certainly be heavily impacted by this system and perhaps into North Carolina as well. And the National Hurricane Center, the way it cone goes, takes it from Savannah through Charleston all the way up into Wilmington as a possibility. And then it does get picked up here by a front. At that point, it won't have the tropical characteristics anymore. It will be extratropical as it goes through New York. So don't think in New York City, oh, we have some possibility of some tropical storm there. It will turn into something else. Alex?
All right, thank you so much, Keith. Meanwhile, we still continue to track storms, and this is from a little earlier today during the evening hours in the Slidell area in Texas, just northwest of Denton. And look at that. You can see hanging down there in the back, yeah, that's the funnel, a tornado there that's moving its way across the screen, going from left to right. So it has certainly been an active evening across portions of the Lone Star State. Again, a lot of storms out there that have produced some issues with some wind. We've seen some tornadoes as well. Hail issues also, and things continue to stay active this evening. In fact, we're tracking a long line of storms moving their way on off towards the east, getting ready to impact us there in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we may have to deal with this again heading into the weekend. You can see here stretching its way across the Midwest and the Plain States all the way down to Texas. More chances for some of these storms to pack more of a punch here again as we get into that weekend. So active times to continue here for us as we get into our Saturday. All the threats will be there for you. Large hail, and as well as those damaging winds could be in excess of 60, even 70 miles per hour out there for you. And yes, tornado risk exists. So it's been a very long week. It's going to continue as we head into the weekend as well for our Saturday. And even as we move into the rest of tonight, we still, again, are dealing with the storms here, tracking their way across the Dallas area, and those will continue to press on off towards the east. Main threat with that line of storms at this point is going to be the damaging winds. Heavy rain also a threat, and can't rule out a little bit of hail with some of those storms also. So an active time out there, and even outside of where we have that threat for the severe storms, notice a lot of the country has that threat for just general thunderstorms. Anywhere we have that sort of orange, that's where we could see it back towards the Four Corners, working your way up through the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, as well as into the Tennessee Valley. General thunderstorms that should stay below severe limits. That's what we'll generally be dealing with. But again, those could produce some heavy downpours, so flooding could become a concern, along with some of these areas that have been hit over and over. Remember, Oklahoma City really hit hard with some of the heavier rain yesterday, wettest May day on record. And again, with another day of having to deal with some of these strong and severe storms rolling on in that can produce some of that heavy rain, flooding also could be a threat. So whenever you encounter that and you see ponding on that road, the key is to turn around and find another route to take. Turn around, don't drown. You just never know how deep that water is. So more active weather to track as we head into the weekend. We'll be here with you through it all. Keith?
Yeah, you're right about that, Alex. It's going to be a strong weekend for severe weather. Let's take you into Dallas, where we have some straight line winds moving in now. You know, of course, the problem is it's kind of hard to tell because you're not going to see the buildings sway, but I just got a tweet in the Fort Worth area, North Fort Worth, they came in with 50-mile-per-hour winds there. So that's something we're going to continue to watch as this squall line approaches. There we are, Fort Worth. You can see some more action there for sure. Lightning as squall line approaches. Some rain you can see in the distance as well. And now let's take you to Kevin Saunders. We talked to him earlier. He is driving down towards Oklahoma City after picking up a multi-vortice tornado in Texas this afternoon. We'll be right back.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 6 months.